Welcome to the Business and Brews podcast, where our mission is to highlight local businesses in the Triangle area and shed light on different industries. Welcome back to the Business and Brews show. I'm Gavin Vincent.
And my name is Ryan Smeltson. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I have the pleasure of introducing Sherry of Club Cardio and Fitness Bar. Sherry, tell us who you are and what you do.
Sherry Ringer with Club Cardio and Fitness Bar. We are a local small business located near downtown Raleigh, near the Farmers Market. We are a small fitness studio and a smoothie bar within our gym.
Nice. I dig it. I like it. Before we get too much further, a lot of people watching might be like, oh, but we already saw you guys here 2 weeks ago, actually.
That's a rerun.
Yeah, right? I already saw this episode. So if you'll notice, Trek CBD has very graciously offered to let us use their space. And hopefully this will become a much more consistent thing. So I definitely want to tell you a little bit about Trek CBD. They are located in Wake Forest. Obviously, they deal in CBD. What I like about them is their setup. So you come in, you're able to browse around. Everything is out on the shelves. They have not just CBD edibles, but also CBD oil. They have full and broad spectrum. They have stuff for your pets. So really just show them support. They have a website. They ship as well. I believe a lot of stuff is free shipping, if not all of it. So be sure to check that out. And just thanks to Trek CBD for letting us hold this here, providing the space.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely Nick and Scott definitely really appreciate, great guys, definitely appreciate their sponsorship. They're located right across from the Sonic, right here in Wake Forest, right across from the Walmart as well. So very conveniently located. So definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks guys. So Sherry, just this week, what have you been up to? What have you been working on?
This week we found out that we could not go further in the stay-at-home order. We initially thought that we could begin having some in-person and on-site services as we transition into phase 3. Obviously, with the increase of numbers within our state, we were halted on the 26th of going into phase 3. So we remain in phase 2. Phase 2 does not allow us to have anything within the gym facility. There are a few workarounds or things that people, have come up with as far as a stay-at-home order that allow people with medical conditions, some type of mental illness that we are allowed to open our doors for. But we have not done that. All of our services right now are outside in our back parking lot. We don't have any on-site services because we're not quite allowed to do that yet. So we've kind of shifted and tried to keep the same momentum and energy going. It just happens to be outside in a parking lot with 90-degree weather some days, but we're still there. We're still pushing. So
That's definitely good. Ryan, how's your week been?
Oh man, what did I do this week? So I got that new
full-time. A really good week. You just forgot all about it.
I got that new full-time job.
Yay!
So I've been
cheers to that. We got to cheers to that, right?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
If Sherry had water, she'd be cheering.
Yeah.
That's right.
So the number one thing I like about it is it's business phone service for small businesses.
Gotcha.
So now I get to kind of focus on small businesses here, small businesses all through the week, so it kind of just makes it.
Yeah, it's a good transition.
Yeah, everything a level playing field. What about you, man?
It's just trying to stay cool. It's been extremely hot and trying to keep everybody in the house sane, So,
that'll never happen, but
yeah, I know. Thankfully, my son's back in school, so in preschool, so it's not school, but still, my wife's working from home, so life is good. We're adjusting to the new normal.
Yeah, right.
A little bit of a break from the 4-year-old with
that's
school.
right. I like it. So
he needs a break from y'all too.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna be mad at him. He did not cry or nothing. He was all about going back. He almost didn't say goodbye. So excited. That's either good one there. So what are we drinking tonight, Ron?
That's a good question. So I will give a quick shout out to Redline. They actually provided Trek CBD, Scott and Sherry with some discount cards, and we got these cups and we got beer. So thanks to them for that. I have St. Benedict's Breakfast Coffee and Oatmeal Double, Belgian style dark ale brewed with coffee and oatmeal by Hall River Farmhouse Ales. It's brewed and canned in Saxapahal.
Spell it. No, I'm just
There's 6 A's. I counted. There's 6 of them. What about you, Gavin?
I have the Raleigh Brewing, the First Squeeze. It's an American wheat ale. It's actually pretty good. Definitely has an orangey kind of flavor to it, so it's
Nice.
good for being hot outside.
Toy likes the one by them, the Hell Yes Ma'am. I think it's a lager.
Really?
Yeah.
So she likes the Hell Yes Ma'am, and you like.
There's one in there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to try that.
I just walked into Redline and I was like, I need 2 6-packs 10 minutes ago. Go. They gotta be from North Carolina.
I love that. Well, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So Sherry, I think we'll jump right into it. I'll start us off, but I really appreciate you coming out here.
I
And,
appreciate being here.
I'm really excited about this because you are a gym as well as the smoothie shop, so we see a little bit of a crossover there.
Yep.
But I think the number one question that I have is, how has this whole pandemic affected you and your business, and like, what did those transitions look like for you?
For us, we had gained a lot of momentum beginning of the year. Within our facility, we have a very popular hip hop step aerobics program. We travel with the program. We actually did not have any openings in that particular class for weeks. So we had gained a lot of momentum and then were just halted. Initially, I didn't know what to do. You know, when you build your business off, somebody coming through your door and, you're providing them a service on a day-to-day basis, you kind of get lost in what your next move is. So lucky for us, we were able to transition to doing things virtually. That was a little difficult at first because once the pandemic hit and people start working from home and things like that, it was difficult to even find a webcam. So, that was kind of a hurdle for us initially, but we adapted really well. One thing about our facility is that it doesn't matter who you are, what you're doing, what you like, what you dislike. Our facility is welcoming, and we have a lot of great energy. So it was hard to figure out how do you take that energy that you have in person and exude that through a screen like you guys. I mean, how do you take your energy and who you're all about and gravitate an audience? And that was one of the biggest, I think, issues we had initially was, how do we talk to a screen? How do we have the same vibe and the same feel and, get people to enjoy who we are through a TV screen? So it was a transition, but we made it, and we at one time had over 100 people participate in our class on a virtual platform.
Nice.
So that has been a great success for us, and maybe something we continue after the fact. So we'll see.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of businesses, just like you're starting to discover, is you're starting to figure out how to do more with less. And really, after all this kind of blows over, I think that a lot of business owners are actually going to have some things they'll be able to implement to take them to the next level.
Absolutely.
Through lessons that they've actually learned. So, just to go back a little bit, I know we hadn't really dove deep into like the business and all, but how long has it been since you guys started, or how long has it been?
So we opened about a year ago, went through some transitions and rebranded what we saw our vision was in November of last year. Again, I wanted an environment that allowed anybody to walk through the door and feel comfortable. Me, myself, I'd gone through a huge weight loss journey and lost 75 pounds, and one of my biggest hurdles was, how do I go into a gym and know what to do? How do you go beside somebody who is, been lifting and looks a certain way, and how do you feel comfortable? And so one of the biggest things that I wanted to do is provide an environment for somebody like me who was intimidated about going to a gym, was intimidated about being in certain environments, to give them somewhere to feel comfortable and to know that your level of fitness and where you are is different than somebody else's, but it doesn't mean that we all can't be in the same room and turn off the outside world and get to it.
Well,
So.
first off, that's amazing. 75 pounds, that's half a person.
Yeah, I feel it every day. I love it. Initially it started out to be, how do you, when you see yourself in the mirror, like what transition that is. But for me, it turned out to be how I felt. And, it was more than just about how you look. So,
That's awesome. That is
number
awesome.
one.
We definitely commend you on that.
Thanks.
That's amazing.
I would like to say that if I lost 75 pounds, it's like a third of a person.
Okay, it's like a third of a person. Okay. It's like a third of a person. Okay, there you go. That's what half a person. I guess I was putting it in my perspective.
Right.
So Sherry,
No shots fired.
no, I'm thinking of myself,
Yeah.
So I might be jumping one or two ahead
Yeah.
here, but I'm definitely really curious. So, hypothetical, if you could go back before all this took place and you got like something in the mail, heads up, it's about to happen. What are some things you would have done differently if you could have prepared for this?
That's a loaded question because it's very difficult to kind of pivot when you are just going through the day-to-day emotions of being who you are. So when someone says, what would you have done differently? I probably would have pulled in more of an online audience. We had traveled with our STEP program to different cities, and that was one thing that was asked of us 6 months ago. Like, can you do this class online? When you guys are not here, when you guys are not doing a class, I still want to be a part of what you guys do. And, in our minds, we're like, we have our Raleigh market, we have people that already come. When we come to these cities and we do this one-time event, it's really big because you only get it once a month or, however often we're in that town. So we kind of pushed that on the, kind of put it on the shelf. And I remember my son saying a couple months ago, we have a market in Charlotte. We have a market in Durham. We have a market in Nightdale. We can give them that by going live during our classes and things like that, and try to create a platform in which we can have other instructors teach in those cities, so we can bring us to someone else. And that's something I was like, oh no, we're fine. And I think if I could have did something different, I probably would have prepared in that manner, so that the online version of who we are would have already been established.
Nice.
So.
Yeah. I think that's extremely valuable. Of course, there are definitely benefits to, being in person and having that one-on-one connection. But just in the short period of time that we've gotten to know you, it's pretty apparent that you're very passionate and you're very driven, and this business is your why. And just even your journey. I'm sure that resonates with a lot of people, whether in person or online.
Yep.
Definitely will come through online as well. So, with that, with the journey and with starting a business because of your personal background, what are some of the things that let's say, for instance, that there is a person out there that's looking to start that weight loss journey and they have no idea where to begin. Like, what are some of the recommendations that you recommend for those people when they first come into you guys?
Do it
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
Or post-COVID.
Yeah. Do it for yourself. I think that many times in the past when I have tried to, go on this weight loss journey and make this big announcement, I'm going to make these changes and do all these things, it was because you see other people doing it and you're like, oh, I want to be like, I can do that too. And I think for me, I did it for myself. Like, I started feeling bad. I started feeling unhealthy. I started to feel tired and sluggish and, all the things that come with, being overweight or being unhealthy. And so in January of 2018, I said, I need to make a change. Like, I have a daughter who's a competitive cheerleader, and I have a son who's really into, a healthy lifestyle. And here I am supposed to be leading by example, and I'm the exact opposite. They're telling me that I need to make a change. So for me, it was for me. And don't give up everything. Find your sweet spot. Find the thing that you enjoy. Mine at that time was walking, so I walked off some pounds. I still ate the things that I enjoyed. I just did it in moderation. I instead of getting a complete combo at McDonald's, I would get a kids meal. I mean, it's reality for me. It was more about a lifestyle change. It wasn't just about what I can do over this next couple months to lose weight. It was what do I see myself doing 2 years from now, and completely depriving myself of certain things I knew I would never do. So
Absolutely.
I would say do it for yourself, and make it about what you see yourself doing 6 months from now instead of just about today.
I dig it.
So
I think that's super important because a lot of people, you know, we have a tendency to look at the mountain and feel like we have to jump to the top.
absolutely.
And it's like, no, there's steps, you know, so just one piece at a time. And I like how you talked about don't give up what you like.
Right.
Just learn, you know, what works for
Yeah.
you. that puts you in
Move,
that
shift
groove.
a little bit, you know.
Definitely. So I'm really curious, because you said you recently added the smoothie bar, and we've been talking a lot about like what's going on right now.
Correct.
But I'm kind of curious, and you talked about your journey. So is that what gave you the idea for the gym? Was there other people involved in that decision to open it? How did that idea come about?
I have a background in medicine. I've been managed therapy, physical therapy practices, orthopedic surgeon practices, family practices, and my vision was always, you know, how do you bridge the gap between, you know, the fitness side and someone receiving some type of rehab. So initially, when I thought about this many years ago, before pre-weight loss journey, I was thinking, you know, how do I have this big facility in which, you know, you have people that are very fit, and, you know, how do they translate that to, you know, recovery and making sure you're stretching and doing all the things that you can do to keep your body, you know, your actual physical body healthy. So initially, many years ago, I thought about, you know, how do I do that just from a business standpoint. It wasn't about what was truly my passion. It was like, it would be a great idea to have, you know, a place where, you know, there would be a huge workout facility for kids and things like that, but also have a rehab side in which what happens when you get injured, what happens when you hurt your shoulder lifting a weight and you don't know, you know, when to stop or what to do to get yourself better to, you know, to continue going. So a part of that is still my vision. I still think that rehab is an important part of, you know, anybody's fitness journey. You know, taking the time to stretch, foam roll, all the things that we hate to do at the end of the workout. I think is super important. So those are things that I do want to implement, you know, as we go on. But you know, at this point, my vision is to help and to be a service in which anybody, like I said, can walk through the door and enjoy what they do.
I have to disagree. I love the foam roller.
You're the only person I've ever heard say that.
I went and bought one for my house.
Oh my gosh, foam rolling is the most. It's crazy. It's almost like a Gemini, two personalities. Like you get on it and you're supposed to feel good, but it hurts, but then it helps. So you just stay on it and roll.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some of the, you know, just in general, not really focused on COVID-19, but just in general, what are some of the challenges that you're facing within the business with the gym and as well as the juice bar?
So pre-COVID, we had, you know, done a few things with, you know, protein shakes, protein bars, and things like that, kind of that pre and post-workout kind of feel, because I think people don't realize that the nutrition portion is bigger than the fitness portion. People think they go in the gym and they get all this, you know, they do all this work, but then they leave the gym and they blow it by not eating properly. So I've always, you know, wanted to kind of exude the importance of the nutrition side. So we had implemented some, like I said, some protein bars, protein shakes, things like that initially pre-COVID. And actually, pre-COVID, we're supposed to have kind of a grand opening of just our smoothie bar portion, but we kept pushing it back and pushing it back. We hadn't renovated. It didn't look how I wanted it to look, and you know, all the things that you push things back for. And so, maybe not 4 months later, but initially, the first 2 months, I felt like the COVID thing had allowed us to take a step back and focus on that important piece of our whole brand. So when we first closed, you know, we said, let's knock walls down. Let's make this place, you know, let's put our vision of what we see instead of just talking about it out. So we began to renovate and over that time developed a natural smoothie drink, as well as we still continue to serve protein shakes and protein bars. So we wanted to bridge that gap again between the fitness and nutrition, and so our smoothie bar is actually called the Link. So we wanted to link those two things together. So we were able to stay open from the Link perspective during the COVID time frame, and we actually have been really booming on the smoothie side. So it'll be interesting to see once the gym portion reopens how we're able to navigate both of those two worlds, because they're a little different. I mean, you have people that come in and get smoothies that have no interest in the fitness side, and you have people that come in and have a huge interest in the fitness side and what the actual smoothie contains, and ask all those questions. So it'll be kind of a madhouse, I think, once we open.
We're hoping for that.
Yes, which it'll be a blessing, but definitely a madhouse.
People
Definitely.
beating down the door.
Yes.
Oh, so I kind of see where you're, fixing to open back up and getting prepared for all that. So obviously some of your short-term goals fall into there, but like, what are your long-term goals with both of these? Where do you see the business growing? What are your plans?
Long term, we are hoping to add another location in a market that we already have clientele, which is Charlotte.
Nice.
Pre-COVID, we were going to Charlotte sometimes 2 to 3 times a month doing 2 classes. So we're hoping to take our same brand and put it in another city. Again, a place where you can go and you enjoy being there. It's not just about a workout. Long term, outside of that, I do want to incorporate some rehab type services, recovery, because I think that's kind of all encompasses if you have a nutrition side and the fitness side, and then where do you go after you leave the fitness side? How do you maintain that? How do you make sure that you're not only healthy mentally but physically? So incorporating that rehab side will be important to me long term. So.
Nice. I dig it.
I like it. I mean, that's pretty good. So, personal question. Which one of your smoothies is the favorite at the Link?
Let's see. That's a good one. So I would say our strawberry pineapple, and we use all fresh fruit. We have several contacts at the farmers market. We have some that actually bring the fruit to us, but everything that we use in our smoothie is all natural, and the fruit is fresh. So strawberry pineapple is probably our top. Our protein shake, I would say that our top protein shake is recently is birthday cake. It actually tastes like a birthday cake, and that was one thing I will say during my weight loss journey. If it did not taste good, I did not want it. And I think sometimes people have this facade that food that is healthy for you doesn't taste good, or that you're not going to go back a second or third time. So I will say that our protein shakes are decorated. They look like you just walked out of Starbucks with it. Everything is sugar free, and our protein shakes are gluten free, dairy free, soy free. So all very all very healthy and natural, but it tastes good, and you want to come back the next day, and you feel like you're cheating, but you're actually enjoying something that's healthy. So maybe it's a mental thing.
So
But
win-win.
yeah, definitely.
I like that. I agree with you. I actually found recently buddy owns like a supplement store. So kind of like GNC, but
Yeah.
not. Down in Sanford, and they have chips. So they're like you just said, low to no sodium, sugar free. And I bought a few bags and took them home, and they're really good.
Yeah.
And they're healthy for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, now I can still have my snacks.
Right.
And I don't have to be sad about it.
Exactly. Our other top favorite is probably white chocolate Reese's. It is
Okay.
super good. It is.
I think I know what I'm getting.
Yeah, definitely. White chocolate Reese's is a fan favorite. We also have a really cool night on Friday nights. We call it happy hour. We do it from 5 to 7. Every Friday night we serve energy drinks. We change the colors of them. We they're,
So what's
blue.
in
And
happy hour? What else do you put in the drinks?
absolutely nothing but personality. But we turn on the LED lights, we blast the music, we act like we're bartenders, we're filling her up. It is just something that's just different, and that's what we want it to be. We wanted to create an environment that people come in and nothing else matters on the outside.
Yeah.
While you're here, we're going to have a good time, and we're going to be healthy while we're doing it. So
I like it.
So definitely you'll have to join us on a Friday night,
Yes.
5 to 7. Go live, whatever we need to
Yeah.
do.
That's right.
We have a drink that one of our members have named the Blue Motorcycle, and it's an energy drink, sugar-free. It does have caffeine in it, but it's a natural energy drink made with herbal products, and it is blue at the top, yellow at the bottom, and you think that you're really sipping on something, but
Wow.
it's really nothing. It's just the atmosphere. It's just the atmosphere, I promise.
That's awesome. So the next segment that we normally move into is audience Q&A.
Okay.
That's kind of a new segment.
Yay.
So we're just getting it off the ground, so we don't actually have any. I don't want to, bring a lot of disappointment, but I do want to tell everyone that if you do have questions, you can actually call in on Anchor and ask those questions. Of course, you can submit them in Messenger to the page. So obviously they won't be on the air, but if you have questions for Sherry about the gym or the fitness bar, then feel free to submit those. I can of course get in touch with her and get answers for you, or
Absolutely.
connect you so we can get answers. But if you have any questions for the future, you can submit those and we'll actually ask them live on the air of our upcoming guests.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so the next portion that we move into is 3 questions that we've had brewed.
Yep.
Okay.
That is the next section.
Gavin, you want to take the first one?
I will take the first one. So, what do you like to do for fun when you're not working or when you're not working out?
You know what? I'm really a boring person. I love to make beaded jewelry. So I make waist beads.
That doesn't sound boring at all.
It is the most boring thing. Nobody wants to be around you while you're doing it, but I love. I'm crafty, so I love making little, bracelets. I make shirts. I used to go thrift store shopping and turn some old jeans into some cute jean shorts type of person. So I would say that if I made time to do something, it would definitely be that.
Yeah. I don't know. You can bedazzle some of this workout gear and sell it.
Hey, we definitely sell apparel, and it is some of the. We have a guy. His name is Peyton Silver. He is our graphic designer, and he does a lot of our designs for our T-shirts
Nice.
and things like that. So we definitely have a lot of that going on as well.
Nice.
So
I dig it. So one of my most favorite people in the world is Gary Vaynerchuk.
Who's that?
good question.
So Gary V is he runs a $160 million media company. He helped his father, turn his I forget what it was, but it was grossing
It's a
like
wine business.
yeah.
It went from $3 million to $60 million.
There
Wow.
you go.
Yeah.
What he said.
60.
So I follow him because he puts out a lot of content, focused on business owners and entrepreneurs and things I can actually apply. But I know some people like to read, watch videos, listen to audiobooks. So what content are you consuming, and what value are you finding in it?
Let me see. That's a good question. Content.
It could be a book. It could be podcasts. It could be YouTube series. It could be
Fun
anything.
or professional?
Yeah, it could be fun or professional.
I can't really say that I'm really consuming any content.
What's your favorite show?
Oh, y'all don't want to.
We don't want to.
Y'all don't want to know.
Everybody has a guilty pleasure. Yeah.
I am a reality TV junkie.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
It is.
Reality TV, like Storage Wars, cooking, are we
90 Day
talking
Fiancé.
Borders?
No, what are we talking about?
She's having a heart attack.
I'm more of a kind of gossipy reality TV,
so-
love and hip hop.
Okay.
Housewives.
Yeah,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
that kind of, go on the end of the season preview show, and
Yeah.
and we're snatching off wigs. That's
Maybe we can do that.
yeah.
Let's start
Hey, I
with
think
the
it's
beer.
That's not going to turn out the way you think it's going to turn out.
Well, this is a good break in the show. What have you read any good books lately? We never get to ask this question to each other.
Okay. Well, I
Good
think
question.
that's a fair question.
Any good podcasts or anything that you?
So, right now, I am in the middle of Hal Moore on leadership. So
Good one.
Hal Moore was a lieutenant general, I think, in the U.S. Army. And he co-wrote it with someone else. I can't remember the other guy's name, but I guess he's not super important. But it's all about Hal Moore and not just what he learned in the Army and from a leadership standpoint. And a lot of the things that we talk about on the air and off the air, and that is, I think like Scott was saying, servant leadership and just caring about the people beneath you. So one of the most recent concepts he talked about was, punish in private and praise in public.
Wow.
But also when he worked with other organizations and got out of the military, and he just really focused on the study of leadership and how it applies at different businesses, both large and small corporations, executives, lower level management, and everywhere. And so one of the main reasons why I really like this book is because I want to write a book that is basically a similar concept to what he's written. So I think it's given me a lot of good insight into the correlations between, because I was in the Army for 10 years, so between the military and the civilian world.
Got it.
Your turn.
It's my turn.
Yeah, it's a good book. You should
Well, I
check
don't
it
know how
out.
to read, so that's No, I've been lately. One of the books that, and I love it because it's just such an easy read, is Tim Ferriss's Tribe of Mentors. It's a pretty thick book, but what it is basically he took like 50 of the most, 50 of the people that's been on his podcast from all different industries, and from everything from the business world to fitness to everything, and he's kind of asked them all the same questions because these are kind of people at the top, the best of the best in their field. And it's just really good to see the common themes from all the different successful people from all the different industries. So it's really good life advice.
That's pretty cool.
Yay.
I normally hear people like you bring up a book or something, and then I download it.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I know, right?
No. That's why
So,
I
yeah.
put that question in here because I want to.
I definitely
know what.
I definitely have
That's
probably 6 or 8 credits with Audible because I hoard them. I don't want to spend them yet.
Yeah.
And then you say stuff like that, The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek was recently recommended
Yeah, I've heard
by somebody at work.
Yeah.
So I haven't picked it up. I haven't started it or anything yet, but I was like, I'll download
May
that
want
real
to.
quick. Okay. All right, Sherry. So the final and what I believe is one of the most important questions on this podcast.
Got it.
Where can people find you? So online, message you, get in touch, your business, your website. This is your shout out time.
Yep. So we actually have 3 pages. A lot to keep together, but Step Reloaded is our hip hop step aerobics program. It's kind of like doing Zumba on a step. We choreograph it and teach you step by step, and by the end of the class, you've added your own little swag to it and burn some calories at the same time.
Yeah.
So Step Reloaded, you can find us on Instagram or Facebook under the same name. Our actual gym is Club Cardio and Fitness Bar. It has, all of our other services. We do personal training, as well as other group fitness classes. Obviously, our step class is the most popular, so it has its own brand and identity. But our gym, Club Cardio Fitness Bar, can be found on Facebook or Instagram under Club Cardio NC. And then our smoothie bar portion that links the fitness and the nutrition part is called The Link. The link can be found on Facebook or Instagram, The Link Nutrition. So those are our 3 names that we brand under. and we'd love to see you stop by. First smoothie is on us. So if you
Nice.
come through the Link Nutrition, we guide you on, what smoothie may interest you. Are you a chocolate lover? Are you a fruit lover? Are you just, somebody who loves to go to Starbucks? And we have a coffee kind of protein drink as well. So, we have a conglomerate of different things that you can enjoy at the Link. So the first smoothie is on us, so come see us.
Nice, I dig it. You keep mentioning that one that starts with an S, but they don't give you a free one out the gate.
They sure don't. But I think they've built their brand enough to where they don't have to. But definitely that first smoothie's on us always.
So come on down.
Come on down to see us. We're right off of Interstate 40, near the farmers market.
I dig it. I like it. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Sure, I appreciate the invite.
And,
This is wonderful.
Yeah, we haven't had a gym owner on. A lot of the gyms around here are mainstream.
Mhm.
But obviously, one of the most important things what we do here is providing that insight to other small business owners, and bringing attention to your business from our audience, so people know you exist. So what I want to do now is basically ask you guys, if you found value here, whether that's learning about Sherry and her business specifically, or maybe you're trying to start a gym or smoothie bar and she's provided a little bit of insight into some of the challenges that you might end up facing, then just be sure to like her Facebook pages, like our Facebook page, share this video with friends, because our number one goal is to bring that value to as large of an audience as possible. So usually Mondays around 11, provided we don't have hiccups with production, the recorded version will come out, which will include, of course, the after brews after the live video is killed tonight. So we will continue to talk a little bit more casually after this, and if you want to check that out, that's on Mondays. So that will obviously include more of Sherry and her business, and then Wednesdays at 7 a.m. is when the podcast goes live, and so that's on every major platform, including iTunes, Google, and stuff like that. So be sure to check those out. Make sure you subscribe, tell your friends about it, and if you want to be on the show, if you run a business, and be sure to send us a message. We would definitely appreciate that.
Perfect.
But
Thank you
now
guys
I
for having
think,
us.
Yeah, definitely. Now I think we move into the after brews, and this is where we say goodbye to the live feed.
Oh, yeah. Well, Sherry, thank you so much.
Thank you.
for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much.
We definitely do appreciate it, and thank you for everything that you do. I'm sure that you don't realize how many people you actually do inspire on a day-to-day basis, because what you do is very close to a lot of people. I'm Gavin Vincent. Thank you guys for joining me. And this is Ryan Beautiful Beard Smells. See you guys next time, all right?
I don't wanna be just some after dark, late night party thought when the night gets lonely. I don't wanna be just an in between, some old faithful flame when you're all gone wrong. I wanna be center stage, I wanna be in your spotlight, I wanna be newsflash.
That was
All right. And the
Done?
live is killed. Yeah.
Nice. That was pretty
I
good.
wasn't
I like
as
it.
quick on the trigger. So what we're doing is, I love these guys. I think he said he would be back. He mouthed something at me, but I don't know what it was. But yeah, so they're like, you should just hold every episode up here. So we're kind of discussing that. But one of the things Gavin and I have been talking about anyways is what equipment do we need to upgrade everything and kind
Yeah.
of put it. And so I had gotten that mixer. It was $20 or $40 or something like that. I was like, I'll try it out, but the problem is it doesn't have enough inputs. So we're about to have enough, and that's why I asked if he was going to be on, because we're about to have enough with like the pop blockers. 'Cause I don't know if you know, but when you say P into a microphone, it's like It sounds
yeah.
really bad in
Yeah.
the audio, and then they're gonna let us keep it back there, so we'll have the audio or the equipment here, and then just pull it out, set
That's
it up,
awesome.
you know, so it'll be super easy and smooth.
Well, good. I'm glad you guys found a
Yeah,
home.
Everything will be.
Yeah, that's
and I
pretty
mean,
good.
we had his office up there. I have another office here somewhere in Raleigh,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was setting up a home studio. And then when he moves, we wanted to set up. But this is good. It brings attention to them, attention
Yeah.
to your business, stuff like that. So
Yeah,
that's really
good.
cool. So what do you do, man? What's your name again?
I'm Dwayne.
Dwayne, what do you do? What do you?
I'm, as they call me, I'm the facilities manager.
Okay.
We gave him a title.
Renaissance man.
I'm the facility. Anything needs
The
fixing.
facilities manager.
That's all I do.
I'm gonna take Kevin. So you taking off?
Yeah, I'm about to take off, man.
Gavin, it was good meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Thanks
too,
for
Chip.
having us.
Don't be surprised if you see me.
Hey, come through.
Especially once you guys are back. My wife is very, very into Zumba. So
Oh, yay.
she's
Yeah,
looking
definitely.
for it, and I definitely want to support you guys. locally,
Yes, that'd
so-
be awesome.
She'll
Yes,
love the vibe.
yes. I'm gonna take a
Gets the
blonde,
name Club Cardio.
blonde moment. Take
He said,
it.
"Take it." Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you
Nice
too.
to- Thanks, sir.
Hey guys. All right, I'll see you next week.
Yeah, man. If you don't want to be on camera, you can pull that over there. For
No,
us.
I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
come on,
I'll
sit
Sit down.
I'll come sit, bro.
I mean, we're still recording, but it's
It's
super
fine.
chillax.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's it.
You want a beer?
No, I'm good. I don't drink.
So like when we're at the house and stuff, it's easy for me to be like, oh, you want a water?
Yeah.
All right.
Now, I was even buying those. I was 10 minutes late because
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
we'll get into the swing of things. But so you guys got kids?
I do. I have a son. Actually, he has a degree in mass communication, so he had his own little podcast at one point.
Oh, okay.
He just graduated from UNCG last year.
That's where
And
my fiance was.
oh, he loved it. And so he's back in Raleigh and does a lot of media things through my brother's company called Creative Impressions. They do a
Nice.
lot of real estate, photography, virtual tours. They're actually at Stage Door
Yeah, the place on
Productions
Stage,
right now doing shooting their little recital. And then I have a daughter who is a former world champion. Well, she's a world champion, two-time world champion. She's a competitive cheerleader.
Huh.
So we've traveled many states, cities, everywhere, with her competing. And so she aged out when she was 18. So she is the face and brand of our hip-hop step class.
Mhm.
So between herself and our other very good instructor, they come up with all the choreography. Everything's original, their own to, old school hip-hop.
That's crazy.
Newer wave hip hop. We actually just did a challenge to a Chris Brown song, Go Crazy, and we think we had about 10K views on that
Holy
video.
smokes.
So they're really good with the choreography, and people seem to love them. And then I have a 13-year-old. He's 6'1".
Yeah.
And
Golly.
we don't know where he came from, but he's 6'1" and about 150 or so pounds.
So when he's in trouble, you're like, sit down.
Yeah, yeah. We're all looking up to him.
Sit on your, give me your knees so I can
Yeah.
school you.
So he's getting ready to go into 9th grade. So we'll see what the football season holds for him. But he plays football. So
I was
see.
taught too, Mom. Well, I guess I still am, but Mom used to always do that.
yeah.
Sit down.
Right.
Come down.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to you.
He is so funny. He's tall and big. He has a little baby face, and it's you don't know where to fuss at him or try to pull him down to your level, like you said.
You don't know what to do.
That's crazy. So this might be a little outside of your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But I'm curious because you said, so obviously you do the classes online, and you said you did the challenge to the Chris Brown song. So I'm curious about are you going live with that? Are you recording it? Like, what does the licensing look like?
So we actually just got a Zoom account. And the Zoom account allows us to have a certain amount of people,
Yeah.
and it's interactive. So obviously when they log on, they see us, we see them. And all of our classes are currently being done that way. Well, in June, we started doing what we call a VIP pass that allows people to actually come to the facility in our back parking lot. We do the same class outside, but still the class is also live on our Zoom.
Okay.
Zoom account.
I was just curious because, so ours is a little different because I use broadcasting software, but
Got it.
I did a broadcast up in Butner live for a veteran event. And, you know, if you put licensed music to it, then you have to, you know, it's just challenging to overcome.
It is.
And make
It
that
is.
work.
We try not to overlay any of our videos with music.
Yeah.
Mostly what you hear in our videos or music we're actually playing at that time.
Yeah.
And I think I maybe have had 2 videos that have been blocked or muted. But for the most part, I just put that blurb in there that says I don't own the rights to this music and let whatever flies. So.
If I don't know if it would work for you because obviously, like, I'm in editing and stuff. But if you get on YouTube or Facebook Creator Studio,
Yeah.
if you're able to pull songs out of there that work for whatever workout you're doing, you can make a playlist, and it's unlicensed music. So it's
Got it.
You don't have to put what's it called? Art. You don't have to credit the artist.
Got it.
So YouTube Creator Studio, and so usually what I try to do, well, not necessarily because I don't want to put 2 different songs to the same video, but you guys can do this. So if you're about to put a workout video on Facebook, then go to Facebook Creator Studio and build your playlist. And then if you're about to do it on YouTube, go to YouTube's Creator Studio because I don't know if the songs
I got you.
That's good information.
overlap. But I've looked at you know, artlist.io and other licensing softwares and stuff, and they're just, it seems like it's kind of expensive for not that great of, like,
Selection.
it's not, still not popular music.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say.
what-
Some of the
that's the
selection's
problem.
probably not as good.
Yeah, so it seems like, I mean, like, I talked about Gary Vaynerchuk earlier, so one of the songs that he uses on his thing, like, he can just pay for the license for that song, so I'm like, for now, like the one we have on the show, at the beginning and near the end it's great, I love it, found it on Facebook Creator Studio, so
Works.
I have no licensing issues, I don't have to put any sentence or anything in
Got it.
the description, so it's really sweet. But I didn't know if you guys had somebody that does all that for you, or, but Zoom is a really good idea.
Yeah, it's and it allows you to, you know, we download it to our cloud, so it allows people to come back and look at the live class.
Nice.
So you can either participate while the class is going on, or you log
back
into
at your own time.
yeah, you go back at your own time and you get to do the class pre-recorded kind of
Nice.
thing. So
So you guys take the recorded version of the class and put it on your website?
we don't. You have to. We don't take the recorded version and put we keep it on our Zoom cloud.
Oh, so it's in Zoom, they just like.
And they
just
log
keep
into
it
their Zoom
logged.
account,
Okay.
yeah. And so we give them the login credentials. So for you to receive the login credentials, you have to be a virtual subscriber of ours.
Okay,
So typically, every month we change all of the credentials and all those things. But you know, once you become a virtual subscriber, you receive access to the private Zoom account, and you log in with the meeting ID and password that's provided. And then once the class is over, you can
Okay.
log in with a different password
Yeah.
and get onto the live recorded class.
okay. Yeah, I was just asking because we're just now like the website for this show is on my website for my company.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna be separating it, and I wanna be able to put up like an archive where they can go and they can like click on Jim and find this episode.
Got it.
You know? And so I have 867 different ways of doing that, but I was curious how y'all did it, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, we keep it on the cloud for about, I think it automatically deletes after like 72 hours. So if you don't do the class we did
Okay.
Monday, within 72 hours it automatically deletes, and every other new class is recorded and saved to the cloud for you to log on to it later.
So it kind of manages itself.
Correct.
You don't have to
We
do all
don't have to
that
do
work.
much of anything. Now, there was at one point we were looking at a platform that would allow people to log in and look at any recorded
Yeah.
class that we have. And that's what we were talking about pre-COVID, you know, how do we bridge that gap between leaving a city and then people wanting more from us. And so we talked about that, we just didn't know how to put it all together, and I just didn't in my mind at the time
Yeah.
to try to figure it out, so,
It can definitely be a challenge.
yeah.
So that is something that you might want to move towards eventually?
Yep.
Okay.
definitely. There are some really, really good at-home programs. And so we had thought about, as we go through this process, also recording some 30-minute workouts, and where people can just log on, do the 30-minute workout on their leisure. It's not actually a class. It's not, anything that's, live like we currently do on Zoom. It's more like, hopping on and doing a 30-minute, kind of that old school, beach body, pre-recorded type of, 30-minute workout that takes you through a full body.
Yeah.
So we thought about, that being something, because I do believe that once, we're allowed to reopen, we'll still have, people that are, still a little hesitant about returning to certain activities, and gyms are one of those things. So having something that they can do, at their own time, certain days a week, could probably be a good thing for them.
Nice.
So.
Dig it. Sorry. He seems coming back. Scott, not Gavin, Scott, because we had talked beforehand. I know he said he had to go, but yeah. So I don't want to hold you guys up too long, but that's really cool. I go to Fitness Connection right now.
Mm-hmm.
I hate saying names on.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do that, but and nobody's open, so it's really frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Getting fat and out of shape.
It is.
Just
I do believe that, there's, through this process, there's been a lot of unknown. I think it's interesting that we're, I think, 20th on the list of highest cases, so we're really not necessarily considered a hot spot, but we are the last of 4 states to reopen gyms. The only other states that have not reopened gyms are New Jersey, New York, and I believe maybe Connecticut. Not really sure, but and all of those are, higher up with deaths and confirmed cases. So I'm not really sure what the holdup is in this particular state.
Well, there was word on the street, so I know, I forget who it is. I think the lieutenant governor maybe.
Yeah, he's
talking
working
about
on some things.
And then there was another.
Says New York, New
rumor
Jersey,
I heard or saw about
and Massachusetts. That's it.
gyms in general, like suing the state or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
I do believe that we can open. Yeah,
Like,
I do
that's
believe
it.
that we can open with the same restrictions as far as having lower capacity, having certain cleaning protocol. I think the gym is important to a lot of people, and I think if you're just a casual person that goes to the gym every now and again, you don't understand maybe the importance of it. But I do think that the gym provides things for mental capacity, physical capacity. There's a lot that happens in a gym that people won't understand. So I think, disallowing that is just not a good thing. I think that you can operate and still provide a safe and sanitized environment. I don't know how bigger box gyms would be able to do that with having people come and go as often. But I think that it can happen, and I think that we should be given that choice.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
There's might look into yours after all this.
well, definitely come
Ain't
see
that
us.
something?
If
Yes,
nothing
I'll
else,
come
grab a
down.
smoothie or energy drink or something.
Yeah.
We are there and would love to see you.